Hello and a warm welcome here live from out of Australia. We are back for the FSR Pro Grand Prix in, well, Jonny Simon's home country actually, in his digital home country. He's sitting next to me. Say hi to the viewers, Jonny.
Hello and welcome to everyone. Yeah, my digital home race. So unfortunately I still have a high ping because I'm a million miles away from the server, but it's going to be a great race as well. I mean, Ace yesterday was hectic, so I can't wait to get going again once in round 10 this is for Pro.
Yeah, it was hectic indeed. I had the unfortunate pleasure in watching the race yesterday. A lot of carnage there, a lot of action, and we definitely don't hope for a repeat this week. And as I just said, that I'm surprised by myself because I'm always saying this every week. We have had so many crashes this season. It's really unbelievable. And I just wish the best of luck for the guy who's making the compilation of this year in about 4 or 6 weeks when the season ends. However, it's now time to go racing and even more to go to qualify to Q1 here, as some of these drivers do have a back of the grid. Like Cuba Brzezinski and Will Barnes as well. Christopher Strower as well, I believe.
Might have a no. Christopher Strower's going out in Q1.
Oh, okay,
so,
well, never mind that then. But
yeah, so he's still
some people do
put in his best lap. Yeah, definitely lots of penalties. I mean, Monza was also a hectic race. As usual this season, you said a lot of contact and incidents. So even the brake markers going off or getting lost off the track, so that caused a lot of delays for the drivers coming down to turn 1.
Yeah, and as we are going out for the first lap, Dmitry Zaharov just instantly disrespecting the pit exit line and crossing two people there in order to get that, you know, as fast as possible to the end of this lap to start his first lap. So with the championship basically decided into Pro, it's of course a race for the honors. Every week there are some of the honors on the stake, and I hope we will get a different guy who wins today. Would be really tight, because I do believe that Rens Klopp is Rens Klopp racing this week.
No, you can't, because the penalties.
He raced yesterday as well, but.
Yeah, sorry, not the penalties. I was going to say the rules. Sorry, not the penalties. Say that you can only race in an Ace or Pro event once during the weekend, so you have to choose either one. And since he's wrapped up the championship, he's decided to get some experience in Ace, which is good for him. And so was the case with Yorick Bojov, who won't be here today. So it pretty much leaves everyone open for a win, and maybe a Cuba Brzezinski, who I think is starting from the back of the grid for a late allocation.
We have a first screamer here, sorry to interrupt you, but Carlos Martin just using his caps lock in order to blow Dmitry Zaharov back into the pit, because according to the admin here, Carlos Martin, Zaharov has to abort his lap and start from the pits. Maybe that was because of, you know, what I said earlier, where he was disrespecting the outside of the pit line and just overtaking everyone. However, it's now Christopher Strower who is passing the start-finish line and aims for that beautiful first apex here. I love that first corner of Australia.
It's a very tricky corner, especially knowing in real Formula 1 it's the start of the season, so everyone's scruffy through there during lap 1 and a lot of incidents. Hopefully none of that today, but we'll see what fast times they can produce this session.
Well, Strower already good at this lap, so I don't know if he is going over the edges once more, if he lets this lap continue. But he definitely could it, so I don't know. He doesn't seem to mind, he's just going on through. Never mind, I lose my interest in that since it's already a cutted lap. So the first guy actually coming over the start-finish line would it be Alessio Campos, flying Italian?
It would be, actually, the very, very speedy Italian, and he is on a nice, decent lap, I think, although his first sector was slightly slower than he probably would have hoped it to be. So we'll see. The corner right now, very tricky, misses the apex only by the slightest of margins. Now DRS on as he crosses the line, and he sets a 1 minute 25.8, way off the pace, really.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit decent though for a bank lap. Another thing to point out, I mean, someone forgot to open the digital gates for the digital crowd. I mean, there's absolutely no one.
Yeah, there's literally not a single person on the grandstands. Yeah.
It's like it's like horrible. I'm just happy we have our dear followers and people who are watching the stream right now and listening to Simon and myself brabbing on about the drivers here. But yeah, no digital crowd here. So.
But looking back at the times, Mike Partington, I was watching him during the practice session before. He's looking very, very strong this weekend. He's going to bounce back from his. He's had a poor few rounds, and hopefully Aventa will be proud of his race this time around. He's P1 at the moment with a 24.7, so we'll see what he can produce.
Mike Partington is one of those drivers that have made some huge steps in the right direction, in the faster direction, let's say, over this season. Because he started out the season a little bit in the middle of the pack, in my opinion, scored some decent points from time to time. But last race, I believe he had pole position in Monza, didn't he? Or at least top 2. And it was awesome.
So that was Indianapolis here, that he had the second place on the grid, and then he actually jumped the start. So, unfortunately, he had that drive-through penalty. His race just went sour from there. But now he's coming across to the final corner. He's going to begin a second lap. Maybe he's just trying to get into a bit of a rhythm for Q2, because he's got to be really comfortable with that 24/7. But I'm looking forward to maybe the likes of Swokas and Falcon, and maybe even her own Queekle, who we know has some good pace, to maybe prove to show that they have the consistency to produce a good race.
Well, let's hope so, and let's hope so my mic is a little bit less distorted than it was a minute ago. If it still is, then I'm really sorry about that. However, it's like you said, and Mike Partington, even though he's setting a 24.716 onto the board already, he's not stopping, and he's attacking the track once more. Or he might do a Q2 lap already, because he's reasonably safe with a 1.2 second gap to the number 11 guy.
If he's loaded his Q2 setup, he's already up on his Q1 time, so we're probably assuming this is either just a better lap or he's still on his Q1 setup. And now through the second sector, he's a 10th up on this lap on his 24/7. Very nice through the exit, bit of oversteer though, but he keeps the car in shape. And now he's got the new Japanese guy, Yoichi, in front of him, who will hopefully not impede his lap, but he's too far in front, so that would be good. And
we have Japanese guys now?
Very wide. Yeah, the Yoichi Yuhara? Yeah, he races for Origin Sim Motorsports. No, hopefully not Yuji. But we'll see Partington now across the line. Ooh, he lost a lot of time in that final sector, so definitely not the best for him. So Christoph Schor for GoSpeed is also producing a good time. It's Miko Swerkas in P3 is only slightly down 12 thousandths of a second from no, he just got P2. Yeah, he just moved up to second with a lap there, so he pretty much destroyed what I just said. Poor final sector, but he still went P2, so he's definitely got some potential.
And he's going out again the faster than speed driver Miko Swerkas. Although he's not faster than Mike Partington at the moment, so faster than speed not being faster than Aventa. And Swerkas just parking it again.
Christoph Schor, 24.4, and he's blown away everyone, the opposition there. So I'm actually unfortunately disappointed we couldn't see Kuba's Brzezinski's times here in the qualifying session, but nonetheless we'll see what he can do during the race, what he can achieve through the 35 lap
hopefully
sprint.
we can see a lap of Sebastian Filosa, because he's still under Kuba Brzezinski. There he goes, in the 10th spot as well, comfortably with 1.5 tenths to spare. But until 5 seconds ago, Filosa didn't yet have a lap in, and he will have one more opportunity to save the deal, because being in the 10th spot when there are 2 minutes to go is not really comfortable as a driver. You almost certainly know that one of those back drivers will improve the lap, and you might get pushed out. So he's doing the sensible thing, Filosa, and goes out instantaneously again. And But let's see where it brings him. If he can do a 25.493 with a 4 lap, I'm sure he will be up in the pack if he manages to improve himself once more. However, it's now a swag full name Eugene from Loggerberg's turn in order from the Avid Chronic Racing team to make his money worth paying and get himself into the top 10 qualifier.
And Alessio Campos is under a lot of pressure in P12, and he almost got impeded by Viktor Ivanov on the exit of turn 1, and he ran wide at turn 4, pretty much almost cut the track on the exit, and he's slightly up in sector 1 at the moment by a few thousandths of a second on his best time. He's under a lot of pressure to produce, so we'll watch now on the run to the sector 2 line what the time will be. He's aiming for a 22.9, and his time now as he enters is a 22.8, so certainly up on his lap, Alessio, and he'll hopefully make Q2 this time around.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, Alessio, one of those guys that have shown to make major steps as well this season. He already scored podiums, and even a podium starting from outside of the top 10. So that is really really tremendous. Really gives him a great boost as well. And I know him personally a little bit because I'm obviously from Netrix, and he's a nice guy as well. Certainly a guy you would give it to. And someone who just claimed the first spot is Christopher Schroer with a 24.4. So that leaves Mike Partington with 3/10 behind. That's really ballsy of Schroer.
Nice shot from Christoph Schroer. Campos, in the meantime, is out of Q1. He just went P11, improved on his time, and jumped up on Eugene van Logerenberg, but he couldn't improve. DeWald Nell is out in P13. A new guy, Yoichi Uehara, is out. He's going to start from P17 unless Zaharov improves on his time. Up the top, though, Sadler in P3. What a nice job from him. I mean, he told me before the race he had spiking pedals or a spiking brake pedal. With a time like that, I doubt he does have spiking pedals. So he's probably got that problem fixed. Adrian Falcon in P5 has ended the session. Corey, P4 for Go Speed as well. Look at that for Go Speed Pro and Go Speed Racing. Yep. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in the top 7.
Yeah, really being a dominant Go Speed this afternoon. However, as we are making ourselves up for whoever crosses the finish line last, we can make out the top 10. Jong Quico just jumping to P2 here. Christopher Schroer finishing his lap, but he's certainly in. Sebastian Filosa here on 10 spots still didn't manage to improve on that lap for some reason. Because his fastest... Oh no, never mind. I was looking wrong.
Didn't he?
Yeah, no.
No, Christoph Schroer just did 24.3, so he's improved even faster.
Ivanov takes it. The Eventa SimRacing Pro car, Viktor Ivanov, just bumps Sebastian Filosa out of the top 10 and says that Q2 spot is mine. And, well, I think we got everyone sorted. So that's Christopher Schroer, Jeroen Kwekel, Mike Partington, James Sadler, Eduard Corre, Mikko Sookas, Adrian Falcon, George Winter, Timur Varkejärvi, and Viktor Ivanov joining us in the Q2.
I think Viktor Ivanov, he made Q2, but stewards, or at least Campos, will definitely complain that he impeded him on the exit of turn 1 and 2. So we'll see what will happen about that in the post-race checks in the next week. But so far, Parc Fermé rules and a 5-minute session coming up. So this will be very interesting. And who do you think will take pole for this round, Chris?
Eugene from Loggerberg. No, but serious. I do believe it's a 2-horse race between Christopher Schroer and Jeroen Kwekel. They have shown a lot of great pace, but in Q1. But it's a question how good will they manage in Q2. We already know it's pretty much well. Christopher Schroer pretty much has to deliver in Q2 because he's one of those drivers that's sliding off a little bit down the pack during the start of the race. So having a pole position start for him would definitely give him a great perspective. But I would say Kwekel or Schroer.
Yeah, definitely. Same with me. I mean, the two Go Speed cars, too strong. No twister. Oh, actually, Carlos Hernandez is the only twister car here today. But other than that, you look at Mike Partington's probably the next best to compete with those two. This is probably Kwekel's best chance to win a race this season. I mean, he's had some bad luck. He's made a few mistakes. And so has Christoph Schroer with his poor race pace. So hopefully he can improve this round. And we'll see what they can do in the next few minutes in Q2.
So, and we just got a message that Edward Corey used the horn again.
Which is banned, isn't it? Or for this round, or for the future?
Yeah, well, maybe he might press it incidentally, or maybe if he was behind another driver, he should watch himself, because that has been banned out indeed.
He probably just receive a warning, because hopefully, because we don't want to see any ridiculous penalties now and then. But he will be the first person to set a lap, followed by George Winter for Avid Chronic Racing, and Adrian Falcon is the other man on track. So 3 cars on track so far in the early stages, all on the super soft tyres, and this will be a nice thrilling session coming up. 3.5 minutes remaining as Swerkus and Schur both exit the pits at the same time.
Indeed, and I'm just looking through the pack and talking about penalties. That guy that we seen 2 weeks ago, I believe it was San Andreas, whatever. He is actually not here with us today, but he got a 1 penalty point for not letting I believe it was Quico around. You know, remember when he got the blue flags? Falcon it was, yeah, definitely it was Falcon. So he actually got a 1 penalty point for disobeying the blue flags for 1 lap. So just remind yourself if it's worth it, and clearly in his case it's not.
Oh, Swerkus is parked off the track. I don't know what's going on there, and he must be alt-tabbed or something like that. But we'll see Edward Corey's first sector nonetheless. 28.8, nice first sector from Edward Corey. This could be a great lap if he keeps it up. In the next 2 sectors, Schur gets out of the way of his teammate. And now, so already, Mikko Swerkus, he's got going again.
He got going again. He just parked it alongside the track to make 100% sure he wouldn't hold up anyone behind him. And well, that's determination for some respect for others. Adrian Falcon now is showing a promising pace.
He's matched Corey in the first sector.
Yeah, well, 28.8. It definitely looked quicker than that.
Oh, Winter spun off the track, so his lap is gone, hits the wall, he's got damage, so Winter's lap has gone to the bin, and that's into pieces. Corey, though, up to the final corner. This is looking like a great lap. Falcon's pretty much matched him through the first sector. We'll see what he does through the second sector, but Edward Corey, as he crosses the line now, does a 25.2. Wow, so he got a really, really poor final sector. He lost probably half a second there, and Adrian Falcon has matched him through the first 2 sectors now. So as he comes through, he misses the apex of turn 13, and this final part of the lap, oh, he misses the apex of 14 as well. So he's had a poor final sector.
Yeah, let's see about Falcon here.
Oh, and the final corner he's missed, almost runs off the track, but he keeps it on. So it's going to be a legal lap, but definitely not any quick. A 25.1, so not a quick lap, but he's taken provisional pole. And the next person I think will be Schur and Swerkus to set their laps. Schur is 2 tenths up.
Oh, Partington is just crossing the finish line now. Let's keep an eye on that in about 1 minute. So let's see here. Swerkus well on their way in his lap. James Sattler just about to. Who is going to cross the finish line here?
Christoph Schur lost 4 tenths in the second sector, and he messed up his braking, so he pretty much was up by 2 tenths. So this final sector is going to have to be a thriller to get pole position. Everyone making mistakes. This is not good at all. And Mikko Swerkus now is way up for provisional pole on Christoph Schur.
Let's see if he can keep it together. Comes Christopher Strowing for the Go Speed Racing Pro Team. He does a 25.118. Now it's time for Quico to go underneath that. Quico actually takes pole position with a 24.677. Definitely showing his pace off, and Tsuoka's not matching that. 24.744 for him. Timo Valker-Jarvi 25.098. And now it's Mike Partington who messes up his lap. What are you doing, Mike? What are you doing? He has to abort it. He has to abort it. So now it only leaves James Sadler in order to take his pole position away. But I don't think he will with those sector times. Jeroen Quico on pole position here for Go Speed Engineering. Go Speed Engineering. What am I saying? Go Speed Racing Team.
They're all go-speed cars up there in the top 10,
Yeah.
but Sadler takes P6 at the end. That was a very bizarre qualifying session,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much bunched up this grid to a complete shambles. And you look at Queekle in P1, well-deserved, and I sort of didn't know he was on his lap then, so that was my mistake that I missed that. But well done to him on pole position.
Indeed, congrats to him. So Viktor Ivanov already spinning on his outlap, effectively. And George Winter starting from 9th position, spinning after sector 1. And because Mike Partington during his flyer lap did actually crossed the 2nd sector, he gets to start from 8th place, even though he didn't set a lap time. So it's Jeroen Queekle on pole position, great job from him, goed gedaan. Mikko Sokas on 2nd place, Timo Valkojärvi with a great 3rd place, starting from Avid Chronic Racing Team. So he's definitely saying to the other teams, I wanna upgrade from Avid Chronic next year. Adrian Falcon here, Go Speed Racing starts from 4th place, Christopher Schroer from 5th, James Sadler in 6th, Edward Corey in 7th, and Mike Partington in 8th, George Winter in 9th, and Viktor Ivanov in 10th.
What a thrilling qualifying session, and we're going to move to warm-up. As you said, Timo Valkojärvi, that was a nice job for him in P3
His best
with a
qualifying
25-0.
of the season of him, right?
Yeah, exactly right. You're so nice job. Adrian Falcon in 4th will hopefully not the best friend backmarkers have been for him. So this race, he'll hope to have a clean one. But warm up now, where the drivers will add that the fuel and the setup and get some warm up laps going for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, and look at those cars just cuddling together at the start of the the end of the pit straight. Really amazing. Maybe cuddling together for extra warmth. I don't know.
Oh, it's what's the weather today in Australia? It's 26 degrees today. So yeah, it's pretty weird. I don't know if that's warm for you, but certainly these cars need some warmth. Partington, to be honest, P8 obviously could have done better than that. We'll see where he can accomplish during the race. But I want to talk about something interesting. Was that for what was it? Wow,
we could talk about the dirty air in the first place, because I have heard rumors that the dirty air in Australia is rather, well, really dirty.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
it's ridiculous, and that's even after the dirty air got nerfed, so to speak. So the impact has been modified in a better state for us drivers, because at the early season it was just completely non-realistic how the dirty air was there. Bono House actually made a bold statement onto the forum that either you accept this as to be the dirty air or you don't know anything about racing instead. And in my opinion, he was right. But it's surprising to see that in Australia, when we come here, it's pretty much a high downforce circuit, that we see so much impact on the dirty air. You see it already. Yep. James Sadler just in the second last bend behind gets overtaken by George Winter and instantly has to lift because of George Winter cutting across him, which was his right to do so. But because he went into the dirty air, he just lost grip altogether. And well, it's definitely something to be looked at for the next season, I suppose. But that's not my job. Just pointing it out.
A bit of someone went into the back of Lionel Clue, I think, in the first corner. Oh no, it was Swerkus and Clue just both carried too much apex speed. So obviously they're just getting a feel for the car with a heavier fuel load. But yeah, the dirty air. I mean, racing in Ace. Well, I hardly raced in Ace yesterday, but there was following a car was really. It was difficult. Even a car that you were 1-2 seconds faster than, you could generally even feel it through the wheel, and so much understeer. And then you add front wing onto the car, and it just slides off the track because you've got so much oversteer. It's like the balance is so hard to get between the two.
And because you need more steering input, you're obviously burning the tires quicker as well. And well, that definitely gives someone a huge advantage who is in front. And but nevertheless, the advantage should be there. I mean, you're in the front, and it's your racing line and whatsoever. But I mean, with a dirty air like this, it just becomes impractical to race.
Yeah. So we'll see what these pro drivers can make out of it. And they're obviously professional enough. It's the Pro Series, so they can deal with it and have an entertaining race.
We have seen a major crash yesterday, and it's only one thing that has to go wrong in order to, well, let the entire pack collapse on itself. And well, unfortunately that happened after turn 2 at the start of the ace race. And then basically one thing led to another. I believe you were right in there in the back. And well, it's just a domino effect.
I was actually the person. It wasn't my fault, but I was the cause of the domino effect.
To point it out. I just didn't want to point it out.
No, but it's unfortunate anyway for me. But that's personally not going to talk about it on the broadcast.
Nah.
There's another note. Sorry, I want to mention was about the turn 1 and 2. Is the tightness on the exit, the DRS zone there as well. Remember, there's 2 DRS zones, and so it will give drivers with the dirty air a double chance to pass really across the main straight and the front straight, and the turn 2 to 3 straight.
Yeah, it has been the same in the real Formula 1 season. I still believe that they have to ban DRS. It's really ridiculous in real Formula 1, but yeah, well, it's racing nowadays, I suppose, and well, we actually needed it quite extensively earlier on in this season, and it's still a nice tool to have. It's not as ridiculously overpowered in here in FSR than it is in real Formula 1, because in real Formula 1 at some circuits, I mean, you can't possibly defend your line. Defending becomes a dangerous task when the guy behind you has a higher top speed of 20-25 seconds just because he can open his rear wing. Well, I honestly believe that it might help a little bit for drivers here in FSR on the main straight, but on the second straight, it's just really too short. And I do think that if nobody makes major mistakes, there would be rather less or not many opportunities for others to make a move in. But as we found out yesterday, anything can happen in just a matter of a few corners. So.
Oh, hopefully a clean start. I'm watching your own Quico now, who's stuck behind traffic. He did a 29.3. He's 4/10 off. Oh no, he's 1.3 seconds off the pace. But remember, it's just warm-up. He's been stuck in a lot of traffic. But I think his race pace is looking decent. He's really affected by the dirty air. He has to lift off behind Lionel Clue.
Yeah.
And
here we see a nice example of that. If we could go on board a little bit with Jeroen Quico, if we already weren't, that is. He just has to lift every corner, and he really tries to go for these gaps. But they're just gaps. And it's that Clue is going off and back into the pit now that Quico is allowed to pass. But yeah, this will be interesting. This will really be interesting, almost like Monaco is. Talking about Monaco as well, some people say, yeah, it's part of Formula 1 and it's part of FSR since of the history and whatsoever. I'm actually happy in the first year of R Factor 2 that we didn't went to Monaco, with all these crashes already happening so often. And yeah, R Factor 1 was more a little bit like karting. You were allowed to have a little bit of wheel contact, because there was basically an entire wall from wheel to wheel of pixels. But in R Factor 2, if you collide with another wheel, the physics are upgraded quite extensively, and you, well, basically fly through the air, and that's what's going to happen in the real as well. So that's definitely an improvement on that. But it does mean that a lot of these drivers have to readjust their driving style quite severely, and that also counts for making contact with other drivers. Hopefully, however, we will see the drivers leaving each other just a little bit of space. That is enough. We have 35 laps to go, and indeed, marbles already forming on the track. This is quite ridiculous.
I think that's a glitch or something, because yesterday when the race got restarted, there was a hell of a lot of marbles.
Yeah, it just got removed by the server instead, not like Carlos Martin, but just by the server. As we are going underway for the warm-up lap, it's of course Jeroen Quico from GoSpeed taking another pole position, and it's Mikko Suokas following him. Timo Valkejärvi in third position, Adrian Falcon in fourth, Christopher Schroeder in 5th, and James Sadler in 6th. Edward Corr starts in 7th place, Mike Arlington in 8th, George Winter in 9th, and Viktor Ivanov rounded out the top 10. Sebastian Velosa, unlucky in Q1, just barely didn't make it. He starts in 11th place, and Alessio Campus, the flying Italian, starts in 12th place. Eugene from Loganberg starts in 13th, South African guy Dewald Nell in 14th, Lionel Kluey in 15th, Cam Stark in 16th, Yushi I am Japanese in 17th, 18 is Dimitri Zaharov, Michelo Vicentovic in 19th, Carlos Hernandez in 20th, Cuba Brzezinski with the back of the grid in 21st, so does Will Barnes starting from 22nd. So
yeah, Cuba Brzezinski is on the soft tyres, the only person on the grid on the formation lap to be on the soft tyres. He's going for the alternate strategy. Yeah. We're expecting a 2-stop race. Probably definitely most likely is the fastest way around this track. We saw that was the winning strategy in Ace yesterday. So this is very interesting by Cuba, who probably, if he didn't have the back of the grid, would be favourite to win. But Kweekel's got the honours of pole position.
I mean, a lot of things can happen. I honestly don't understand why Cuba is the only guy that isn't on the super soft tires out of the top 10. Because people like Cam Stark, the Japanese guy, and Dmitry Zaharov, Vicentovic, whatever, they surely can't make full potential of their tires. And well, of course it's their choice to make. I do think that Brzezinski is doing a better job on starting on the softs. So let's see. Nothing went wrong on the warm-up lap. That's one thing that we couldn't say all the races this year, unfortunately. And as the drivers make their way up to the main straight once again, just doing that little bit of warm-up in their brakes as well, in order to get the most heat in the tires, and you don't have any, well, cold, Jeremy Clarkson would say, milk bottom tops as brakes. We are starting the 10th race of the season. Carlos Martin just says again that the drivers have to be safe because there are no red flags, and Jeroen Kweekel just putting the car into the first gear, sets up the launch control, and he is gone. Actually a little bit of a bad start and already gets passed by his teammate, and a lot of things are going on here. Mikko Suoka's diving for the gap, and Jeroen Kweekel actually reclaims that bad start, and there is
Falcon spun!
Falcon spun indeed! Carnage already! And was that Falcon into the wall?
Falcon hit the wall, but he's got no damage. Kweekel maintains the lead. Velkiavi and Skor are trading positions. Almost Skor gets loose on the exit, maintains that. Sadler now is going to attack Christoph. Vicentovic has to back off now on Sadler. So it's getting a bit hectic at the back, but so far so clean, except for Falcon's half spin there and the exit of turn 1.
Yeah, really epic start here, but basically pretty clean, and we are now well underway. People already have to defend here. George Winter threatening Viktor Ivanov for that 8th spot. Closes the door, but gets pressured by Sebastian Velosa, who actually takes George Winter for 9th place. So he wanted to make a position, and he loses too, because flying Italian guy Alessio Campus joined the top 10 as well. He's now driving in 10th spot. A lot of dust kicked up by James Sadler.
Winter ran very wide there, and he almost crashed into the wall on the exits of Van Logenberg. And look at Brzezinski 3 wide here through turn 13. It's going to get very tight. Brzezinski makes contact with Lionel Kluey, but they're all going to make it clean through the exit. Brzezinski putting a lot of pressure. Remember, he's starting on the soft tyres, the only person so far on the slower set of compound.
Yeah, definitely. And as we are heading off to the second lap of this race, it's Jeroen Kweekel leading this race. Mikko Suokas just behind him. Timo Valkajärvi didn't win a place, so he's still in 3rd. And behind that, there's just a big pack created already, starting from James Sadler onwards to basically Alessio Campus. Sebastian Velosa taking a look on Viktor Ivanov, but there it's only a look. There isn't actually space to overtake, so he does.
There was a big crash with Cam Stark, Dewald Nell, and Mihailo Vicentovic at the back of the grid. So they're all going to have to pit and replace some wings and damage. But right now at the front, it's still Kweekel leading from Suoka. So those top 2 are probably going to break away fast from Timo Valkajärvi, to be honest there. But he's holding well in P3. Christoph Skor providing heaps of pressure already stages of the race.
Yeah, Christoph Schroeder, obviously his team is pushing him in order to to go past Valkyrie, but he's doing a tremendous job. And Jeroen Kuiko and Suokas are already 3 seconds away from Valkyrie, so it's really important for Schroer to make a move stick ASAP.
Oh. Sorry, Falcon and Brzezinski were battling very hard through turn 11 and 12. Now 13, Brzezinski made an amazing pass through turn 11. I'm not sure if that was caught on the broadcast. Now he's going to put pressure on Van Logenberg. This is amazing. He's on the slower tire and he's passing cars on the super softs. And Falcon probably has damage. I mean, he's struggling a lot now through lap 1 and 2. Van Logenberg defends very early onto the straight, so he knows he's under pressure from the fast pole man of Cuba.
Poleman, he obviously means Polish with that, mind you.
Yeah, of course.
So Eugene van Logenberg going to the left instantaneously. That's really weird. So he's losing some momentum with that. Nevertheless, let's go back a little bit to the front of the pack, because it's now Edward Corey who's being under pressure by by Victor Ivanov. But as we said earlier, and as we pointed out, the dirty air is so tremendous here.
Kuiko's still there. He's got that gap to 1.1. He's broken the DRS, because DRS will be activated now at the end of lap 2. So, so far now everyone's sort of getting into a formation. Falcon's still stuck behind Brzezinski. Brzezinski's still stuck behind Van Logenberg. He's putting pressure on the avid chronic racing driver. And through turn 11 and 12, oh, look at that dirty air. And Falcon now is caught up a lot through here. He's going to get a bit of a slipstream.
Going for it. He's on the outside of Cuba. And he actually outbrakes Cuba, but because he has the inside line, Falcon cannot get past easily. And Cuba is just showing how to drive defensively without it all ending in tears. And he's now instantly pressing Eugene.
He's going to have DRS now, so onto the front straight. Van Logenberg touches the grass, he loses speed, and this will be a Cuban cigar pass for Kuba Brzezinski. He takes P12 from that as Van Logenberg gets onto the AstroTurf and off again almost, or maybe that's just a bit of my lag. So now he's lost the position there, and Falcon will be the next man to shape up Eugene as he runs wide through turn 3 now.
Yeah, and as I said, after the one, Sebastian Velosa being pushed out of it and had to start from 11th space, but he is driving in 9th now at the moment, so he made up 2 very important places at the start of this race. And Mike Partington just settling down for 5th at the moment with James Sadler behind him. Sadler actually hitting the wall quite extensively. This might allow Edward Corey to make a move. But he is just too far, and he has the dirty air as well. He has to lift entirely, and it's gone.
Ivanov now is going to shape up Edward Corey, so no team orders at go speed for Sadler, letting through Edward, but Ivanov can't make a pass into turn 13, and now Velosa is stuck behind that train.
Edward Corey actually losing out there and getting under pressure because of Victor Ivanov, just because of the dirty air. It's ridiculous.
Something which probably needs to be touched up on, but now the drivers have to deal with it for this race. There's 31 laps to go, and only 4 laps through.
Digital crowd into their seats. So
turn 2, do you see that?
Nice to see. Yeah, man, it's awesome. So Bernie would be pleased. Back to business, however, Christopher Schroer now is really threatening Timo Valkyrie, but I want to repeat myself yet again. I really think they cannot make a move stick just because of the dirty air. And if nobody makes a mistake, well, basically the positions won't swap unless they have another strategy. But yeah, a lot of drivers who are just within 1 or 2 seconds from the driver in front of them, just taking it slow onto the cornering speeds and the entry speeds, just in order that they don't have to use their brake during the corner. And Edward Corey being out of shape once again. Victor Ivanov is too far away from him. Sebastian Velosa, however, he's not too far away from Victor Ivanov, and he tries to go for it. Goes well onto the grass as well. But Lesio Campos just cruising behind it. Cuba Brzezinski the extra.
sorry, Campos got into the grass, so he lost a lot of speed through the exit. I thought he was going to make a pass. Brzezinski's definitely struggling for less grip on the soft tyres, so we'll see how this reverse strategy actually plays. Now Sadler, I'm not sure if he's got damage from touching the wall, but is definitely holding up a train right now. Corey with DRS, and so is Ivanov right onto the back of him. He's got a great speed in the speed traps right now. Ivanov shaping up a pass, but Corey breaks very late. Is he going to run wide? No. Wow, nice braking there from Edward. But now Ivanov gets a better exit, flicks on DRS, and Corey has DRS to defend. So up to turn 3 now. It's going to be a braking battle again. Ivanov.
And Edward Corey just leaves Ivanov well enough space. And there was room for a dive. That was no issue whatsoever. He just relied on Edward Corey, on the experience that Corey carries in FSR, that he would give him enough space. And fortunately he did.
Yeah, it's getting very hectic now in this train. Campos wants a piece of it as well. So does Brzezinski. Winter's going to catch up as well. And so it's becoming almost a 6-car train pretty much. Sadlers are getting help by this and breaking away while they're all squabbling with each other for those few points from 7th to 10th. And but back up to the front, Kweekel's got that 1.8 second gap to Mikko Swerkus, and he's slowly breaking away. And those two are slowly breaking away from Velkiavi and Christoph Schur, who's still stuck behind Timu during lap 5.
Yeah, and as you just said, that Jeroen Kweekel, Jeroen Kweekel is really gone. I mean, he is just putting the pedal to the metal, and in the clean air that he can use so freely, he is driving in first position, and he is slowly but steadily increasing the gap that he has over faster than speed guy Mikko Swerkus. So this might be the day for Jeroen. This might be the day.
Yeah, he really needs it. I mean, he's got the pace, but consistency really hasn't been there this season for him. So lots of promising potential. Yes, exactly right, and it's the confidence booster as well for next season will prove to be vital for Jeroen Kweekel. I should say, I pronounced that wrong, didn't I, before said Kweekel. But 1.8 seconds is still maintaining this gap between him and the faster than speed driver of Swerkus. Sebastiano Filosa has crashed, unfortunately.
Brzezinski, what did we miss? Brzezinski's driving on 8th place. What have we missed?
Check the replay there. And it seems like into turn 3, there was a bit of contact between Filosa and Ivanov, and then Brzezinski just took that position away. Filosa slid onto the gravel. So Brzezinski gains 2 positions, and he's everything's falling up straight to him like a candy from a baby.
It's almost like the team boss told him, if you manage to go from back of the grid onto the podium, I will buy you a Polish vodka bottle of 5 liters. I don't know, he's driving his lungs out. Sorry for the joke, Cuba. But no, he's really driving his lungs out, and in 7 laps, effectively going from P48 or whatever to P8. It's really astonishing.
Sorry, back up to the front. Christoph Schur was lost his position to Velkiavi. No, sorry, he's passing Timu Velkiavi finally for P3. So now Mike Partington wants a piece of that. He's caught up to the back of them both. And we'll see if Timu can carry on. The pit stop window will probably be between lap 9 and 12 for a 2-stop strategy. So we'll see what these drivers will do. Gold Kweekel, I'm watching him, misses the apex of 7. And Swerkus has brought that gap down to 1.6. So a very intense battle so far in the early stages.
That pit stop window will count for everyone except the Polish guy Cuba, because he obviously started on the soft compound instead of the super soft like the 23 other drivers did, or 21 other drivers. So he will effectively pit in around, well, lap 16, maybe lap 20 to reach full potential of his stint. However, if he can manage to have a look onto track position, he might be able to do it a little bit sooner or even a little bit later if it suits him.
Corey ran wide on the exit of turn 7, went onto the gravel, and Brzezinski just flew right past him. So now Brzezinski's got P Lucky 7 to his name, and he's on a different strategy. Cam Stark, the back marker, out of the way.
Yeah, out of the way. Well, that's not the right word. He's just stopping in the middle of the track, out of any racing line or any cornering line, in order to let these guys pass. So already being 1 lap down in 8 laps. In this pace, will be on 4 laps down after 35. So let's hope he can pick it up a little bit. Adrian Falcon actually pits in lap 8. Adrian Falcon inside of the pits.
Mike Partington pitted as well in front of him, so Partington will feed out in P14. And
he's going
Falcon,
for a two-stop then.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see what tyres Partington's on. It shows me the full wets for some reason, the blue stripe. No, he's on the super soft, so two-stop strategy for Partington. He has to use both compounds. Falcon as well. Yeah, he's definitely got damage.
Falcon is out of this race, effectively. I mean, he's driving away now into 19th spot. But he has a humongous gap to the 18th guy, Uriara, whatever, of more than 12 seconds. So,
oh, sorry to interrupt you, but Brzezinski's right onto the back of Sadler now through turn 11 and 12. Sadler's tyres have gone pretty much off the cliff. Brzezinski around the outside. No, Sadler maintains that nice racecraft from both of them to maintain no contact. Corey runs wide with the dirty air behind. So we'll see if Sadler and Corey will pit. Sadler's tyres really almost off the cliff. He's dropping back ever so rapidly from the top four. So we'll see if he pits this time around. I'm not sure if he has his pit light on.
He does not.
See that? No, he doesn't. Yes. So Queequel pits though from the lead, and so does Velkiavi.
So there are the leaders in the pit already, and this would actually make up a nice window for Cuba, who's already going for it now. He doesn't get any defensive lines from James Sadler. However, he's not really close enough to make a move stick. So it's Cuba here, still from 4th place, trying to make a move stick onto James Sadler here.
Campus passes a Queequel coming out of the pits. Queequel's got the grip though, and he takes that position back. So Campus with no grip, remember he hasn't pitted yet, will lose that position straight away to Heron, and he's stuck in traffic after this pit stop. Oh, Corey almost hit the wall in front of him. That was very close. And Brzezinski is hounding like a bulldog, isn't he, on James Sadler's gearbox.
I don't know about the tire wear of Cuba, but if he can... Oh, he's going for it. No, not again. So, I don't know about the tire wear of Cuba, but if, and that's a big if he can make it, he can actually ruin the race on the stint of Queequel by not letting him pass and just effectively stay in the lead until the next pit stops, because Queequel went on to the super softs again, so he has to stop, and he will stop in about lap 18, lap 19 in order to do a 15-16 lap stint onto the soft tires. Mind you, Cuba yet again, he started on the soft tires, and if he chooses to destroy the stint of Queequel, oh no, never mind. It's all irrelevant what I said. Cuba Brzezinski spits from 4th spot into lap 10.
Swoka's pitted as well, and he's going to feed out behind Queequel, who's behind teammate James Sadler. So we'll see if Sadler will get out of the way to support his teammate for the lead here. DRS now for Queequel. Sadler should drop out of the way, or he's going to battle with him. This is going to be a bit of a battle between the Ghost Speed drivers, and Swoka's lost a lot of time.
He's just letting him pass. He's just letting him pass, not making any defense attempt whatsoever. And yeah, Queequel just bouncing on through.
Brzezinski, to be honest, has he's very far behind right now. He's on fresh super softs. He's pretty much now essentially on the same strategy as Queequel. But we'll see if he can win this race.
14 places. Nah, he's not winning this race, I suppose. But Brzezinski did make up 14 places in, well, 11 laps. And this is after the pit stop, so those will stick. Christoph Schroer has his pit light on and will definitely give the lead back this race onto his teammate Jeroen Queequel. And let's see where he drops, Schroer.
He'll probably drop between Mike Partington and Timu Velkiavi in P6 and 7. So a Ghost Speed... Oh, he's not pitting actually. He's probably doing a fake pit light there. So maybe tricking his opponents, but I doubt they're really listening to the broadcast really.
No. But I don't understand this call, to be honest. I mean, he's losing time, 29.9 for Schroer. And Jeroen Queequel with fresh tires does a 27.8. So he loses 1.5 seconds effectively onto the rest of the pack. As I said, that Mikko Soukas is threatening James Sadler for the 3rd spot. James Sadler on the inside line going into turn 1. Definitely defends correctly, but loses a lot of time doing so. But yeah, Mikko Soukas just all over the back of Sadler here.
Sadler struggling for traction. But Swokas on the soft tyres now. He's on the slower set of compound of the 2 available this weekend.
Yeah, but the newest.
Sadler, the newest, exactly. So Sadler is I thought he was going to pit ages ago, but he seems to be continuing. So is Christoph in P1. We'll see if his pit light's on. So far, 3 retirements, so Vicente Vidark and Lionel Clue. We still have 19 runners available. No one's been lapped so far through lap 11.
Miko Sokas is going for it soon, I think. Miko Sokas is going for it. James Sadler already defending the line completely. And if Sokas, look at the amount he has to brake in order to not be affected that much by the dirty air. It's basically half a second he has to give up just because of the dirty air. And Schroer not pitting again, and this might be the reason why he's falling back so often during the race. Last time around it was 29.2, now it's 29.7. So he lost another half a second for his own pace, and he now loses 2 seconds to Quico, just by continuing on. And this effectively means that a lot of guys like George Winter and Mike Partington are able to pass him as well, just because he continues on with the worn out tire.
Yeah, shout out to George Winter, by the way, in P5. Nice job from him there. But sure, unless he's trying a one-stop strategy, which on paper really is the slower of the two strategies.
And Sokas is going for it in a dive. Oh, and Sadler just not realizing that Sokas is there, just steers in. I did not expect that from James Sadler. Miko Sokas went for the dive because James Sadler effectively didn't use any defensive lines whatsoever. And as soon as Miko Sokas was alongside James just steered in for the corner like the faster than speed car wasn't there in the first place. And definitely not spoken the last words of that, because that's clearly avoidable contact by the Go Speed car.
And now that leaves more pressure for Sadler. He's got Winter and Partington now, who are both going to knock on his door now. They want to pass him and have a bit of a slice and dice, as Partington seems to effectively nullify the dirty air effect. He just gains so much time on George Winter.
Yeah, and Schroer is not pitting.
The Christoph Schroer. Finally, the lap 12, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But he was like 10 seconds in front of Jeroen Kweekel when Kweekel came outside of the pit. That gap was decreased to 3 seconds, just because Christopher Schroer managed to do 3 more laps. So he lost 7 seconds, effectively, or let's just say 6 for good measure. And it does allow George Winter to pass him here, I think, because coming out of the pits, he doesn't carry the momentum. Christopher Schroer uses really offensive defensive lines, let's put it like that, and George Winter has his pit light on.
You got to play offense to defend your lead, really, and that's what Schroer did. Brzezinski is, wow, he's got so much speed close. On Timo Valkjavi. Yeah, he has to back out. And we'll see now through the exit of turn 7. Yeah, he's got a great run out of 7. Fresh tires, I think.
He has to dive from here. He's so close. He can easily outbrake him, and he knows it. And he's going for it, and he makes the move stick. Cuba to 6th place.
Wow, nice job from Cuba there. And now George Winter is next on his to-do list of overtakes right now. Christoph Schroer, look at the pace he's got on Sadler. Sadler's definitely going to try and probably one-stop here.
Sadler has his pit confirm light on, so...
So we'll see if Schroer, yeah, he's definitely going to get a bit impeded by him, but only for the next corners. Will Barnes out of the way, the back marker, and now Sadler seems relatively clean. Schroer now right at the back of him, but Sadler will pull right, pit, and no, he doesn't. Wow. Okay.
So George Winter is, however, from 6th place, so he's going to have a huge drop back, and I do think a lot of these drivers, or at least 3 or 4 of them, are going for a one-stop.
Yeah, definitely Sadler's going for a one-stop. I don't know why that maybe he made a fake pit lane, I'm not sure. Adrian Falcon is out of the race as well, so is Dmitry Zakharov, so unfortunate for them too.
Sadler now holding up his teammate effectively. I don't know what's the rule inside of the Go Speed camp, because they do have different liveries, Sadler and Schroer. However, this is costing Schroer dearly. This is really costing him dearly. But then again, that's his own mistake. He should have pitted maybe 1 or 2 laps earlier. If he would have pitted 1 lap earlier, he would have jumped Sadler with ease, with a second to spare. Yet he didn't, and he's now losing a lot of his race pace time. He's going for it now. He's in the inside of turn 10, and he just outbrakes Sadler, who realizes that it's gone. And they make contact. Cuba and James Sadler here making contact. Let's see the replay of that.
To be honest, I saw Sadler hit the wall.
He hit the wall. He steered in too early, and well, a little bit opportunistic, I must say, from Cuba. That gap was always to disappear, and he still went for it. So. Yeah, that was Cuba's own fault.
Now, Kweekel's lost the lead. Laurent Kweekel has lost the lead here. He
Cuba
was
here
7
going
seconds.
past Sadler yet again. Sadler with his pit light on, but isn't going for it. And he just has no other option than to leave this Cuba, to leave Cuba in front of him and make the move stick. So it's Cuba now in 4th place and Sadler in 5th. And he's just sitting duck basically with tires that are 15 laps old. And mind you, he put it on his pit in light, pit confirm light 3 or 4 laps ago, James Sadler. And he's not going for the pit though. Timo Valkyarvi behind.
Sorry, Kweekel spun on the exit of turn 13. He almost hit a Vettel 2010, so that cost him about 9 seconds to swerve because he's 2 seconds behind. We're just talking about how he needed the consistency to win, and now he's pretty much just handed that on a platter to Smiko, and now he's going to have to hunt him down for the lead. Wow, so not a good sequence of laps there for Hero, and he was looking very, very good as Swerkus is slightly dropping back into the clutches of him.
He was, but fortunately he can only blame himself for it. We have seen him make mistakes earlier in the season as well, and this is definitely, well, not a big surprise then, but yeah, maybe for him it is. Definitely not give it to him. Oh, Valkyarvi hits Sadler! Valkyarvi hits Sadler. Sadler braking immensely early because he has shredded tires, and Valkyarvi had nowhere to go. Nowhere whatsoever. If we watch the replay, James Sadler here coming out of the 3rd last corner has loses a lot of momentum and brakes on the 70-meter mark, which is almost intentionally early, and that makes Timo Valkyarvi hit him. There was no possible way Timo could avoid him there, except if he braked real early there.
Yeah, they'll have to be investigated definitely after the race. I'm not sure who. I'm pretty sure one of them braked early, the other braked very late as well. Watching Valkyarvi's telemetry there, but definitely that will be judged after the race.
Telemetry.
The lead is still maintained at the throttle and brake inputs that both of the drivers applied. But Mike Partington in P5, we haven't spoken about him much. Campus as well in P6 right behind him. They're in a bit of a dice here through lap 16 of the race, and we'll see Campus how much he's affected. Wow, misses the apex completely at turn 11, and he's going to lose about half a second, as you say, from the dirty air.
Yeah, well, Sadler just pitted as well, and he's back onto the track with soft tires. However, I really don't know who's to blame. I mean, it's not illegal to finish the race with tires that are completely wrecked. It's not illegal to do a 140 here in your race pace, you know. And but for other drivers who don't realize you're on extremely old tires, and with them braking so early, you know, you might get a what's the flag called again?
Black and orange.
Yeah, I believe black and orange flag that you should be, you know, going into the pit for dangerous measures. But yeah, James Sadler just doesn't care about it, and well, this is just what happened. So maybe something in the rules that are going to be changed out of this. I don't know. We have seen it earlier in the year though.
We have Winter and Filosa battling at turn 3. But they're going to maintain their positions really, so no passing there. Black and orange flags really for mechanical failures, as you say, but they can, you know, if your tyres are really off the cliff, your car is essentially damaged or slow.
Well, I do remember Patrick DeWitt in Bahrain this season. He had shattered tires as well, and the precision car or somewhat of that, I don't know, I believe it was Ivar Calames, couldn't make a move, stick, and they actually made contact because of an oversteering moment of Patrick DeWitt, and DeWitt actually being penalized with that because he didn't went to the pits and his tires were shattered. So I don't know if the same will apply to James Sadler this race, but yeah, definitely needs some taken off. definitely need some people to take a look into that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been different opinions on that, but Kweekel pits from P2. He was losing time to Swerker, so he probably flat spotted those tyres, and now he's going to feed out behind the battle of Partington and Campus. And so Ivanov now might be able to pass him if Kweekel doesn't get a good exit. Ivanov now, he won't have DRS, he's a bit too far behind, so he probably won't get a pass on. Campus still stuck behind the Aventa car of Partington in front. But how about Kuba Brzezinski in P3? So a nice job from him, and I don't think it's impossible to win, really. I mean, he's 8.6 seconds off Swerkes. If Swerkes makes a mistake, or he's really right behind Christoph Schor, it could be possible from the back of the grid.
Everything is possible, but I really have a strong feeling. I mean, it's basically Kweekel's fault if he, you know, spins like that and basically loses 10 seconds. I mean, that's a humongous gap. But fortunately for him, he can continue. But Mikko Soka is now in the lead of this race. But Brzezinski is pounding on that throttle pedal, and the Schroer is, well, he tries to pound, but his car is not working wonders, and his tires are shattered again. And as the pit stop window is opening for him as well. I mean, we have 16 more laps to go. Plenty enough to do it on the soft tires, I presume. Nevertheless, they want to make 12 or 14, I think.
So Partington, Campus, and Ivanov all pit at the same time. They were pretty much within 2-3 seconds of each other on track. Kweekel has pitted early, definitely to go for his final stop to undercut Mikko Swerkes and retake the lead. We'll have a look at the pit stop. Campus shares the same box as Mike Partington, and that's unfortunate. And maybe Ivanov won't jump if Ivanov had a really slow pit stop, really. And Campus now feeds out in P12 or 13. Sadler gets away in front of him. I'm still not sure if James Sadler's pitted from that incident. No, he still hasn't pitted.
Yeah, he did, man. He's on soft tires.
Oh, yeah. My bad. He did pit right after he got a hit, didn't he? So, yeah. So he's still in P12. He could still score a few extra points, but we'll see if Kweekel can undercut Mikko Swerkes, and we'll watch if Mikko's pit light is on anytime soon.
Yeah, certainly interesting how this race is developing itself, and a lot of these small incidents that could be avoided, although yeah, it is racing, egos collide from time to time. And as we just seen with Campus, sharing the pit box with someone not of his team is definitely not something you want. We have seen this earlier in Imola, where Morgan Morant actually shared a pit box with Bono, and with Bono pitting in behind him, he had a 2 or 3 seconds that he had to stay stationary without the mechanics changing any tires or whatsoever. Definitely not what you want as a racing driver, and really unfortunate, something you cannot possibly calculate.
It's all up to really the garage spots there are in pit bays. I mean, there's only, in Formula 1, what is there, 12 teams, so you only got 12 pit bays. So I'm not sure how R-Factor allocates that, or whether John-Eric Saxon and the FSR crew maybe add a few more pit bays, but Kweekel is 16.8 seconds away from Swerkes in the lead. Look at Campus and Valchiavi.
Campus going for it. Timo Valchiavi sitting duck now after that, in my opinion, ridiculous move of James Sadler. That basically cost him this race. So
yeah.
I'm sure Avid Chronic Racing Team is gonna take some legal action under that, because Valchiavi lost any amount of pace, and he even gets pushed out of the outside by Victor Ivanov, and that's not the right formulation. He just doesn't have any grip, and Victor Ivanov just making a move there, but there wasn't any more room to go by. Nevertheless, it doesn't end in tears. That's always nice to say. So back to the front of the pack. Mikko Swerkes leading comfortably with 4 seconds to Christoph Schroer.
And Brzezinski is gaining. He's 6.3 now behind Mikko Swerkes. He gained about just under a second that lap. And Swerkes on the soft tyres, he's going to have to pit soon. He's effectively lost the lead to Kweekel now. So we'll see if Kweekel's tyres hold up to the end of the race. Swerkes will come out with fresher set of rubber. And Brzezinski, though, is really the wild card here. Whether he can win this race, he's gaining a lot of time. He's going to be in the super softs for the last stint as well.
my favorite is going to be Mikko Sokas. Really nice guy, and I think he deserves it as well. However, it's not about who deserves it, it's about who crosses the finish line at the end of the race. However, yeah, Brzezinski is showing a tremendous pace, but Brzezinski still has to pit as well, and he obviously has the advantage of taking the super soft tires since he started on the soft. Because Sokas is driving on soft tires now, so he will be able to go to super softs as well. Christopher Schroer, however, he won't. Okay, Mikko Sokas has a pit light confirm button in, so he realizes he's losing time and he is going instantaneously to the pits. And with 12 laps to go.
Locks up on the entrance, so we're very close to the limit. Schroer continues, and so we'll see how this pit stop is.
Yeah, Suokas wants this. He wants this victory, but he gets jumped by Kweekel. I don't know why I say Kweekel. All you English people say Kweekel. It's Kweekel.
Kweekel. I've got to correct myself. I'll get it right. We got 2 races to go after this. I'll get it right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and after 2 races, the season is gone. Nevertheless, Kweekel is up there, and he will scratch himself behind his head dearly because of that mistake he made earlier on. He's back on track with the soft tire, so no super softs for him. And but Cuba still has the pit, so Schroer now into the lead of this race effectively, but he still has to make a pit stop as well. And Brzezinski, well, you might prove me wrong, but he does have his pit light on now.
If he pits now, he's going to feed out about 4 or 5 seconds behind Suokas and Kweekel. And Kweekel's on softs, Suokas on super softs, so Brzezinski will definitely go out on the super softs. But so this is going to be a nice little finish of the race. There's 13 laps remaining. Christoph Schroer will probably go on the soft tires. Yeah, because he went super soft, didn't he? So he's still got to pit one more time.
Who did you just talk about? Oh, Schroer. Yeah. No, he will actually indeed go to soft.
Oh, look at you! Look at the pit lane for Brzezinski. Yoichi Uehara was almost parked on the entrance. Luckily, didn't get out of the way. Now Brzezinski pits, gonna put on the super soft tires, most likely. Yes, he does.
Good pit stop.
And now a clean pit stop.
And Suokas actually jumps Cuba as well. Eduard Corre in 5th place is going to the pits as well. So it's now a 4-man battle for the win. Although I do think Schroer will drop out. He has his pit light on.
Look at Suokas really putting the pressure on Kweekel. This is going to be very hard to maintain for the next 12 laps, really, for your own Kweekel. Wow, I keep getting that wrong. Velosa and Hernandez in P12 and 13. There's some battles going on now with Valchiavi. Oh, he has to leave a lot of space for Corre coming out of the pits. Ivanov now, I think, has DRS, and this is going to be a nice little battle up to turn 3.
Yeah, and we'll see DRS if they can... too, but he has a broken rear suspension from that move of Sattler, I believe, and he's just going off track, Teemu. I feel so bad for this guy, because it wasn't his fault and he just gets pounded out of this race. He did a great job. He actually was contending for a podium at the early stages, but yeah, it's racing. These things happen.
I can't disagree with my co-commentator, but really, to be fair to Sattler, I mean, it looked like Valchiavi braked at the 50-meter board, unless really the only guy who should be doing that is Morand and Huis, really, the 2 best so far. As Schroer pits from P1, and he'll probably finish around P4 in this race. And Mikko Suokas still putting the pressure on Kweekel for the lead and for the win.
So Schroer going out, and can Brzezinski take him? Brzezinski surely can, and he's now driving in 3rd spot. And effectively the leaders in once straight away from him, and battling with them with each other as well. And remember, Kweekel on the soft tires and Suokas and Brzezinski on relatively new super softs. And well, Brzezinski just has to close this gap, and he might get a shot in as well. Amazing stuff from him, man.
Wonderful job, as you say. So hats off for him. And looking back at the battles now, Sattler has got he's been pressured so much today, but Campus now wants a piece of James, and through turn 4.
So mind you, if and that's a big if battle, Kweekel didn't spin, he wouldn't have lost 9 or 10 seconds, and he would basically be in the lead of this race with 9 or 10 seconds. With 11 laps to go, 1 second a lap is a big difference. They have to cross. So yeah, he basically broke his own glasses, and hopefully he won't be sour after this. But Suokas realizes that Cuba is coming, and Nico really wants to make a move stick before this happens here. Here we go, Quaco going defensive instantly and chooses the line. He can't, however, cut across dearly. He does do so, but leaves a lot of space onto the outside for Suokas, so fair enough there. But this allows Cuba to come even closer. So late braking from Suokas! And the early braking.
Do you remember it was, I think, Coulthard was stuck behind the arrows at Monaco like about 10-15 years ago.
Yeah, that was Coulthard with Enrique Bernoldi.
Yeah, so unless Quaco can act like Enrique there, he might be able to win this race.
David Coulthard, obviously known as well for crashing into the 1994 warm-up lap of the Italian Grand Prix, I believe. So, I mean, it happens, I guess. It happens. Nevertheless, no more historic Grand Prix talk here. There are 3 main contestants for the win here, crossing the start-finish line. Quaco in a 29.0, Suokas in a 25.3, and Brzezinski with a 28.9. So Brzezinski being the fastest of this pack, and Schroer is actually joining the pack as well.
Well, so now it's a 4-way battle for a win here, but Schroer and Quaco are both on the soft tires, whereas Suokas and Brzezinski are on the red, super fast, super softs. Suokas has already caught up to the back of Quaco, so you can see how much the dirty air is really affecting Mikko here. The flying Finn will hope to emulate Kimi Räikkönen and win like he did in 2012 here, a couple of years ago.
Indeed, and Cuba is making his way up, and I'm sure he's gonna make a move soon. He might just say to himself, okay, I'm gonna let these guys battle for 2 or 3 laps because there's a lot of tension in the air. I'm sure Cuba can feel it, but and just take on an opportunistic stance. He might say after the lap 30, well, okay, I got 5 more laps to go. I'm going for the win here.
This is, yeah, he's got to maintain those tires.
Pounding on the accelerator pedal, pounding and pounding. He just did a 28.3. It's just a lot quicker than the guys in front of him, but you know, catching them is one thing, overtaking them is a completely other, and this is certainly into his mind. However, he's still got 8 laps or 7.5 laps to go. This beautiful digital Australian skyline. Oh my god. We could get a helicopter fade out, Sam. Can we? No? Okay, never mind then. But no, back to the track. It's Quaco defending so tremendously, and he really has to use his head. He can keep those guys behind him the entire race. This will remain. There's no problem. The only thing that he has to be careful of is exit speed at the last corner, because if he makes a mistake there and he loses a little bit of his momentum, it might allow Suokas and Cuba to pass instantly. So here we go again. Quaco going for that straight. He has an oversteering moment, but it's not too big. He also, however, goes defensive, but instantly realized the gap is way too big for Mikko to make a move stick. And Suokas now with a 28.4, Cuba with a 28.6. And
for Quaco, I don't think Suokas, he's having a look, but he's not going to get done. Oh, Quaco wobbles on the exit.
They both outbrake themselves, and Brzezinski is going from the outside. Brzezinski actually takes second place from Suokas. Suokas braked relatively early and then went on the accelerator again because he realized he braked so early. He might have been a little bit nervous by the move Quaco made 5 or 4 laps earlier, but Brzezinski's passed. Brzezinski's passed, and he's going for the lead of this race.
So
Quaco, seriously, if you had 9 seconds more than this gap because you crashed, I mean, and you're gonna lose this race, I mean, this would be such a bummer for this guy. Here we go though, Cuba onto the gearbox of Quaco. The dirty air coming into play here.
That's supreme defending by Kwekel. He made it look like he was going to change his line, but he just stayed in the center, and Brzezinski pretty much had to back out, not knowing what Kwekel was going to do. Very wobbly on the exit through all three of the drivers, even Christoph Schur, so they're all pushing it for the win. But what I was going to say before was that Kwekel on softs runs wide through the last second to last turn, and Brzezinski now, a bit of contact almost.
Goes completely on opposite lock and has to give the place back to Suokas with the DRS already wide open. Can Christopher Schur capitalize on Brzezinski's mistake? He cannot, however, because the top speed of the Cuban guy here is really amazing. However, Brzezinski makes contact of the rear of Suokas and Cuba spins. So exploiting the limits there, Cuba, and loses it all. Cuba loses it all. In the replay, we're going for turn 1. He breaks late, but there's no problem on that. They both make it onto the turn. This is really something you don't want to see. This is really something you don't want to see.
Suokas got loose on the exit, really. He lost the rear end a little bit, and then Brzezinski almost lost his rear end as well, but maintained a lot more apex speed, so he hit into the back of him. Really just an unfortunate sequence of events. Is that what happened to him? Yeah.
He might disconnect it because he lagged as well.
Ooh, so he disconnected, didn't he? And now Yoichi as well, the Japanese man, is out of the race. So now it's a top 3 battle, I guess, with 6 laps remaining here, and Kwekel's going to have to do what Enrique Benaldi did. He's succeeding so far, and his tyres on the softs, he's got the slower set, but they're wearing out less than Suokas, so maybe he might have a bit of extra grip in these final stages.
Yeah, at least Cuba is out of their tail, and that for these guys, for these top 3 guys, that's an amazing fact. However, he was certainly challenging from the lead, having start from the back of the grid, and really impressive stuff there from Cuba. However, he's out of this race, and yeah, well, he was rather close. He was really close to Suokas, and on that moment you really are trusting on the fact that the guy in front of you doesn't make a mistake, even though it's also slide. And yet Suokas did have a little bit of trouble of coming out of that corner, and that just got Cuba out. Yeah, you could say, well, Miko shouldn't have had an oversteery moment, but we all know that, you know, you can't drive a perfect lap except if your name is Atsi Kirchhoff, because that guy doesn't know what oversteer or understeer is. But yeah, no, really, he's like one of the most cleanest drivers I ever know in racing life.
He's good. You're right about that. I've watched him. He's very good. Suokas putting pressure on Kwekel. Kwekel's very supreme through turn 11 and 12. Oh, runs a bit wide. So that's going to be looked at by the stewards there. But I don't think he's cut too much this race. So I don't think he'll get a penalty there. But
all about percentages. If he cut it more than a certain amount of percent of the laps, he will. But yeah, that's on it for now. However, this is a 3-way podium battle. The podium is driving here, still driving, but in what order they are going to finish is yet uncertain. I do think Jeroen clearly wants this. I mean, but he has to fight for it every inch of the way. And Schroer, after having a little bit of well, disappointing mid-race, now coming to the end of the race, it's working wonders for him. And as I said, that Suokas and Kwekel are battling it out once more and shredding their tires, to be honest. Christoph Schroer could play the waiting game, but with 3.5 laps to go, there's not much waiting to be left.
He's on the fresher set of tires than all the top 2, pitted much later than them. So as we thought, he made a really bad decision pitting late, but now Kwekel's holding up everyone in this latter stage of the race, as the Suokas is a very good exit, so he's brought Poole right into play, and now Suokas through turn 11 and 12 on the entrance into sector 3. Kwekel defends well. Excellent job.
Sure, it's kind of off, he loses a lot of momentum there. And this is another second that he is dropping from the top 2. And Suokas just pressuring Kwekel as much as he can. Why do I say Kwekel? I don't know.
Yeah, I put the infection into you, didn't I?
No, but
apologies for that.
Either way, we got 3 more laps to go, about 10-11 kilometers or 7 miles. And Jeroen just trying to hold on desperately to his first place spot. Mikko Suokas can only take a look on Kwekel, and it's only a look. And trying to apply a little bit more pressure.
Watch it now into turn 3.
Here he comes. He's on the outside. He's on the outside. Maybe he's trying to force a mistake from Kwekel.
Did it twice before, so maybe he's trying to do what he did before and capitalize on it this time though. As look at the dirty air effect there. Now Skor's going to have a look maybe into turn 7. Not an overtaking spot. He's going to have to form up behind the Finnish driver of Mikko Suokas. And 3 laps remaining. It could almost be a formation finish really.
Yeah, half a lap ago I would have said that the Mikko Suokas is definitely is going to have a chance in this remainder of the race, these last 2.5 laps, to make a move in. And I do think I have to stick to that, because Schroer has made a mistake once more, and he is down more than a second now to these guys. Nevertheless, they are battling each other, so Schroer can easily come around again. But it's Suokas now who has to make the move stick. Nevertheless, he's in second place. As a racer, you never ever wanna be happy with second place. Yeah, except in certain circumstances. But if it's this close, you would always think after the race, like, what could I have done more? And Suokas realizes that, and he's trying to do everything he can right now. He got 2 more laps to do it.
So faster than speed, putting the pressure on go speed.
Sorry to interrupt, it might happen here now. Kwekel is going really defensive. Yet again, Suokas challenges on the outside line. He's barely side by side, and he's not doing it. The outside line there is practically impossible to overtake, except if Kwekel makes really big mistakes or gives Suokas a little bit too much space. But for the moment, it's all so good. And Kwekel just holding on. You got 1.5 laps to go, Jeroen.
So this is very good for next year for the Pro Series. Show what these drivers, I'm assuming most of them will continue unless they make the move up to Ace or even the World Championship. But if this is what's going to play a part for 2015, this is going to be very entertaining. Kwekel, remember, 1.5 laps to go, and he could take his first win here in the Pro Series, although still a very long lap for him.
And would it have been nice if Timo Valkyrjärvi would have joined his pack as well, because he was having such a good race before he got hit by Sadler. It's all a if game, of course, but yeah, it would have been awesome to see Timo in the top of the pack here. However, we got 1 more lap to go and 1 more tense moment, I do think, for Kwekel. Here we go, onto the straight. Suokas actually outspeeds him, but doesn't outbrake him. Chooses to go on the throttle early, and Kwekel makes a mistake. Kwekel makes a mistake, and Suokas gets him on the final lap of this game. Schroer on the outside line of Kwekel as well, and he's challenging him as well. They make contact. Seriously, Schroer, what the f are you doing? Seriously, challenging it all, and he just has to be so happy that he didn't hit Suokas out, because that would have been a season ban right there. I'm sure for the remainder of the season, of course. Nevertheless, he is managing to keep the car on the road, and he's in 3rd place. But what an action are we seeing here? Kwekel still has to wait for that first victory, it seems, because that epic mistake from him in turn 1, which caused him to have lost some momentum, allowed Suokas to pass through, even Schroer. Then Schroer got really brave and tried to take Suokas as well, which was just impossible. And well, it's a bittersweet podium for Jeroen Kwekel if he doesn't manage to pass Suokas. But the only way that Suokas is gonna let this win go is by a mistake. Scandinavian people have a strong, you know, they are not frightened or anything, relatively easy. And so is not Mikko Suokas. Here he comes for the faster than speed team. He wins the pro race on the Australian circuit, and Kwekel finishes in 2nd, in a disappointing 2nd for him, because he was definitely aiming for the lead here. Christoph Schroer finishes the last podium spot. But what a finish of that race that was. And Kwekel must feel so horribly about this, and Suokas must feel so happy.
we're still racing, sorry, with Winter and Sadler, who almost made a pass into turn 10 there. They're battling for a non-points paying positions. That's really unfortunate for them.
Well,
so
nobody cares then,
Van
seriously.
Logenberg and Nell.
Come on, I mean, it's a race to the finish. Timu gets ninth spot. Okay, fair enough. The race is over, guys. They have to realize it, and they do right now. No, but I mean, after a finish like that, nobody cares. I mean, it was so amazing. It was the most amazing pro finish we have seen. I mean, I have seen this year. That's for sure. I just feel so bad for Kwekel there. I mean, it was his own mistake, you know, and I'm just really happy as well, and so is Christopher Schroer undoubtedly, that he didn't make excessive contact with Swokas there. You know, what if Kwekel would have won that race because Schroer and Swokas got crashed on that moment? It would have been KM, definitely in the post-race discussion. But yeah, GoSpeed are doing a tremendous job in the Constructors' Championship, but nevertheless, Faster Than Speed take the big prize, the big trophy here, and well, what a race it has been! What a race it has been!
Been a thrilling race. I mean, for next year, I mean, get excited for the Pro Series. It's going to be utterly and absolutely entertaining. Look at I think Kwekel was doing some burnouts, so he's putting on a show. He's still thrilled. I mean, P2, nice job nonetheless. He went even off onto the grass before, but I could, I can sort of relate to him of how you want that win. It was back in Hockenheim for me and Ace, where I had my tires just went off the cliff with about 2 laps to go, and you lose that lead, and you just got to bounce back there, keep your head up, keep fighting, and I'm sure we'll keep doing what he's doing and get that first win soon enough.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, he's definitely someone who deserves it, but yeah, he made one unfortunate error where he spun in the middle of the race, and that clearly cost him the race. Although you could argue and say, okay, well, if he didn't make the mistake in the first corner of the last lap, okay, that's also true. But nevertheless, he lost 9 or 10 seconds with that spin, and it cost him the race. But still finishing a second after that. Well, he might be happy, but he also knows that he could have won this.
Yeah, but as you say, entertaining race, and Carlos Martin just said Christoph was lucky. If he killed Mikko at the end, Mikko would have killed him after the race. So his life spared for Christoph Schroer. But yeah, not bad for Christoph anyway. We always talk about how his pace drops off throughout the race, so he's definitely improved in that section.
Yeah, he clearly did, and well, it's just an awesome race. And remember, guys, it's still not the last race of the season, because the creme de la creme of the online racing community still has to show their paces and their laps around it. We got a nice race coming up for you guys, which is starting in about 15 minutes till 60 minutes. It's of course the World Championship, where Bono House, defending 4 times world champion, will well, surely try to defend his closest rival Morgan Morant, and yeah, with Morgan not starting from the back of the grid as well, we will see a tremendous race for pole position once more. So yeah, I would like to welcome you all to World Championship in 50 or 60 minutes. I want to thank you next to as well for Jonny Simon next to me for watching this race, this tremendous race, and I would see you guys in an hour's time. So thanks for watching for now. Enjoy a little bit of dinner or something like that, and we see you guys in a bit. Bye bye.